Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Your assigned seats. I need to take attendance.
Miss Narwin,
Yes?
Peggy Lord is sick.
Thank you.
Good morning to all students, faculty, and staff. Today is Thursday, March 29th. Today will be a Schedule A day. Today in history, in the year 1790, our 10th president, John Tyler, was born. In 1918, singer Pearl Bailey was born. And today in 1954, Karen Ann Quinlan was born. Please all rise and stand at respectful, silent attention for the playing of our national anthem.
Is that someone home? Philip, is that you again? Philip, I spoke to you yesterday about this. This is a time for listening. Now please stop singing. Philip, stop this insolence. Philip, leave this room instantly. Report to Dr. Peleni's office now.
Okay, Philip, come on in and sit yourself down. Who's your homeroom teacher?
Miss Narwin.
Okay, now, what seems to be the problem?
I don't know.
Come on, Phil, sit up straight. We don't whip people here. Now, you must have some idea. She asked you to leave the class. What happened?
She doesn't like me.
Let's try to be more specific, Philip. I want to hear your side of the problem. I'll check in with her. Then let's see if we can work something out. We're into solving problems, not making them. Okay? Now, what happened?
She wouldn't let me sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
What?
She won't let me sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
I don't understand.
It's just the thing I like to do. Sing along when the song's played.
The Star-Spangled Banner.
Yeah, I just like to do it. In Miss Lunzer's...
You mean when the morning tape plays?
Yeah.
And you were singing?
Uh-huh.
What, loudly, disrespectfully? Were you making fun?
No, not at all. Just, sort of to myself. Almost humming. Really. I always do.
There's a rule about being quiet at that time.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a patriotic thing with me. The whole thing is, she always has it in for me.
Who?
Narwin. So she kicked me out.
Okay. This singing you were doing, singing out loud, did Miss Arwen ask you to stop?
I mean, I wasn't being loud or anything like that.
And did you? Stop, I mean.
No, I told you. I was singing.
Okay. But when Miss Narwin asked you, did you stop?
It was just to myself, not loud or anything, and...
Okay, Phil. I think I understand now. No problem. Where is that thing? Here it is. This is a memo from Dr. Doan. Look, see what it says? Go on and read it. What does it say? Silent, okay? You hear it every day, right? But you were singing, right? No, let me finish. Miss Narwin asked you to stop. You didn't. You continued to sing. You were disobedient, so she asked you to leave.
How can you ask someone not to sing the Star-Spangled Banner?
It's a rule.
Is a memo a rule?
Philip.
Yeah, but...
Philip, look. I've got more important things to do with my time than argue with you about following simple, basic rules. I've got serious infractions. I've got
Put me in another homeroom.
What?
Put me in another homeroom. In another English class.
What does English have to do with this? Philip, I asked you something.
She and I don't get along.
Look, Phil. You are here to get an education. You get along, you have to go along. Let's not make a big deal over this, okay, Phil? Now, you've given me your side of the story. I'll check with Miss Narwin, but it seems pretty clear to me you said yourself you broke a rule.
Well, if you could just change...
Here's a note that says I spoke to you. Scoot, get along with your day. Make it a good one.
But...
Hey, Phil, be cool. It's a good day. I heard you're a runner. It's a great day for running. Go join the track team. They could use you, okay? Now take it easy. I'll see you around. Bye. Have a nice day.
Look, Ben, it was just a botched job, that's all. There's no two ways around it.
Mr. Dexter, what I'm simply trying to explain is that I wasn't given all of the information that would allow me...
I don't want to hear excuses, Ben. I want someone around here to accept responsibility. Is that you or not?
Yeah, sir, yeah.
It goes with your position. Responsibility. Just don't let it happen again. We lost a lot of money on this one. We can't afford it. No one should know that better than you.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, that's all that needs to be said. It's done. Work around it.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Regular sales reps meeting tomorrow morning. I don't intend to bring this up, but it will be on my mind. I can't afford another screw up.
Yes, sir.
Come in, Peg, come in.
Thank you.
Do sit down. Would you like some coffee?
No, thank you.
Peg, ever since you sent me that note about funds for that summer teaching workshop, I've been meaning to speak to you.
You are very busy.
Busy? Good grief. Superintendent Seymour has us writing position papers, speaking to Chamber of Commerce groups, the Rotary Club. The upcoming budget vote, he's very nervous about it. And the board election? What? That's something else. You don't want to hear about that. Many is the time I wish I were back in the classroom. Though actually, it was while doing some statistics for this budget vote business that I was able to pull something together that's interesting.
Yes?
You know how in your memo you spoke of going to that workshop? That some of the instructors were, master teachers?
Yes.
Wish we had that program here. The point is, Peg, you are the one who should be a master teacher.
Thank you, but...
I mean, what I came up with this is, there is a direct statistical tie-in. That is, those students who have taken an English class with you, Peg, score higher on Iowa tests, the Stanfords, the SAT verbals.
Is that right?
No question. I could show you the figures.
Well, that's nice to know.
I felt so bad about not being able to give you that funding. But Peg, if the truth be known, you don't need it. The facts are all there for you to see. You're the best English teacher. I didn't have to be told that. But there's the truth for the rest of the world to see.
Thank you, Gert. I really appreciate that. I really do.
Hi, honey.
Hello.
What's the matter? Something wrong?
Well, I got chewed out by Dexter.
What for?
Some job estimate that went wrong. It wasn't even anything I did.
I hope you stood up for yourself.
Are you kidding?
But, honey, if you were right,
And get myself in his bad books.
you wouldn't get yourself.
Susan, please. Don't bug me about it. I know when to keep my mouth shut.
But
You don't understand. I'm sorry I mentioned it. Look, I'm just not in a position of power there, okay? Just forget it, okay? Just forget it. It's no big thing.
Sorry I asked.
It happened again.
What happened?
In school this morning. I was singing the Star Spangled Banner and the teacher kicked me out.
Are you kidding?
No, it's true.
Sent you out of the classroom?
To the assistant principal's office.
I hope you stood up for yourself.
I spoke to Plenty,
Who?
assistant principal.
What did he say?
He sided with Narwin.
Phil, listen to me. Don't give in to that crap. Don't let them push you around, singing the... There must be some mistake.
That's just the way she is.
You have to stick up for yourself. That's all there is to it, Phil. Do what you feel is right. We will stand behind you.
It's just so hard to believe.
She's really nuts.
Must be.
So you see, Anita, it was gratifying to hear Gertrude talk this way to me. Exactly the kind of support teachers need. Certainly it's what I need at this time. I can't tell you how much. It bucks me up. Many teachers have almost nothing good to say about their administrators, complaining that they fail to support them, much less grasp the complexities of the classroom situation, or that they show only slight concern about their problems. My principal is different. I'm lucky.
Lots of kids badmouth their parents, say they never stick up for them or understand them, or pay any attention to them, stuff like that. My parents are different. I'm lucky.
While it may appear to be an April Fool's Day joke, 10th grader Philip Malloy of Harrison High School was suspended for singing the Star-Spangled Banner. His parents, Susan and Benjamin Malloy of Harrison Township, do not consider themselves super patriots, but they did raise their son to have pride in our country. It was only natural then for Philip to sing along when the national anthem was played on tape during morning exercises. According to Harrison School Superintendent Dr. A. Seymour, there is no rule against singing the anthem. Indeed, in every other class, Philip did just that. His new homeroom teacher, Miss Margaret Narwin, however, changed the rules. Every time Philip lifted his voice to sing, she threw him out of class, insisting a disturbance was being created. School principal Dr. Gertrude Doan, who admits that Philip has no previous bad marks on his record, saw the issue only as one of discipline and referred all questions regarding school policy to Dr. Joseph Peleni, assistant principal. Dr. Peleni, however, refused to be interviewed regarding the incident. What will young Malloy, who has his own delivery route for the Manchester Record, do during his suspension from school? Philip, who still hopes to make the school track team this spring, said, "Try to keep up with my work and work out with classmates after school." Well, Harrison Township will be voting on a new school district budget this spring, along with the new school board.
Gertrude?
This is Gertrude Doan.
Gertrude, Al Seymour here. Did you see this morning's paper?
Just reading the first section now.
Look at section D, Community News. Page 2, School News.
Why?
Just do it.
Hold on a moment.
Did you find it?
Yes, and Oh my.
Read it.
This is ridiculous!
What is this business? I had a call from a reporter yesterday, but is any of this true?
Al, the boy was not suspended because of singing the national anthem. Of course not. He was suspended because he was creating a disturbance. That's according to Joe.
Joe?
Joe Peleni.
A disturbance by singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Yeah, Joe handled it.
Who is this Narwin woman?
An English teacher. She's been on staff for years. Actually, longest of all, I think. A good teacher.
Oh, yes. I think I know her. And that's all there is to it.
As far as I know.
Let's hope so. I mean...
Al, no one could take this seriously.
I hope not. I hope not. But the budget vote's soon, and the school board...
Do you want me to call the newspaper?
No. But if you get any calls, you can refer them all to me. To my office. Tomorrow.
I will.
This is not going to do us any good.
No one reads about the schools.
Let's hope so. What's happening?
Did you see the paper?
I deliver it. I don't have to read it.
Guess what my ma found in it?
What?
It's all about you.
Sure. April Fools.
No, really. Look at section D, page 2, a riot.
Sure.
It ain't true, but it's funny. We working out?
I have to visit my grandma at the nursing home.
Make sure they don't lock you up. See you.
Catch you later.
Don't forget to look.
April Fools.
Look here, Ben. That reporter did put in a story about Philip.
You're kidding. Let me see.
Here.
Well, I'll be.
It's got the whole thing.
See, the superintendent says there's no such rule. It was just that teacher.
Doesn't seem right.
Well, she should be fired. Is Philip upstairs?
Think so.
Philip! Come on down here. Look at this.
What?
This.
See, if you stick up for yourself, you get action. How's it make you feel, Philip? What do you think?
What's that matter?
I don't know.
It was the teacher, just as you said.
Weird.
And it just shows you.
Where are you going?
Upstairs.
We're leaving in half an hour.
Sometimes you just have to deal with things.
He looked like he was reading his own funeral notice.
Kids.
Well, anyways, you were right. Now maybe the boy can go back to school on Monday. Isn't it odd to see your name in the paper?
I sort of like it. Good if Dexter sees it.
That Ted Griffin. He knows how to get things done.
He's got my vote.
I just don't understand why they would ever print such a thing.
That's the papers.
It's so slanted.
Peg, I don't think anyone will pay much attention to it. Just tell people the truth. Put your faith in them.
I suppose you're right. It's just...
It'll pass.
So what I will try to do, if elected as a member of the Harrison School Board, is not just keep the cost of education down to a reasonable level, keeping our taxes down. I will work with the rest of the board to support basic American values. For I, and I can only speak for myself, am shocked that a Harrison student should be suspended from one of our schools because he desires to sing the national anthem. Yes, my friends, it is true. It has happened here, in today's record is the sad story. And I say, what is the point of installing computers, which my generation never seemed to need, and at great cost, if our young people are not allowed to practice the elemental values of American patriotism?
Folks excited, mostly Dad, by a newspaper story about what happened in school. Wonder what'll happen now. Dad keeps telling me how great I am. Maybe they'll kick Miss Narwin out. I wonder if she even saw it. It's her fault, not mine. No one called. Guess I don't go to school tomorrow. Watched some track on TV. Steve Halleck lost a race. Said he wasn't ready. Can't believe it. Finished The Outsiders. Not bad. Wonder what it would be like to live without parents. You could do what you'd like.
So what I will try to do, if elected as member of the Harrison School Board, is not just keep the cost of education down to a reasonable level. I'm talking here of keeping our taxes down. I will work with the rest of the school board to support basic American values. But let me tell you, good people, and I am sure I speak for you too, I am shocked that a Harrison student should be expelled from one of our schools simply because he desires to sing the national anthem. Yes, my friends, it is true. It has happened here. Here, in yesterday's record, is the full story. Shocking. What I say is, most emphatically, what is the point of installing computers, which my generation never seemed to need, and at great cost, if our young people are not allowed to practice the elemental values of American patriotism? Is that the way we budget our education dollars?
Allison, I'm working hard to understand what happened in Miss Narwin's class. The incident with Philip Malloy?
I know. A lot of kids are talking about it.
What are they saying?
About how big a thing it is.
Do you think it is?
I don't know. Maybe. If they pay all that attention, I mean, someone said the TV would be here.
I hope not. Now, as I understand it, you are in Miss Narwin's homeroom class?
I have English with her, too.
I'm talking about homeroom.
I have her.
So you were there all 3 times?
Uh-huh.
Tell me what you saw.
Well, Philip, he doesn't like Miss Narwin.
He doesn't.
I don't think so.
Just think. Do you know why?
It's what people are saying in English class. He just sits there, like he's bored and can't stand anything she says. It's just the way he looks on his face, but then he suddenly makes some remark, a joke or something funny.
Do you think this has anything to do with what happened?
Well, it was so obvious he was trying to get at her.
What do you mean?
Get her mad.
Because he doesn't like her?
He's been so moody lately. Those times in homeroom, I think he was doing something to get Miss Narwin in trouble.
I wish you'd tell me more about that.
Well, he's been angry a lot lately. I go home on the same bus with him. The other day, I tried to sit next to him on the bus. He was looking all angry. I tried to talk to him.
And?
He got all angry, wouldn't talk to me.
Do you know why?
That's the way he is.
Allison, I appreciate your help.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I like Miss Narwin.
I'm glad. You're telling the truth can only help her. To Dr. A. Seymour from Dr. G. Doan. Suspension of Philip Malloy. Each and every morning during homeroom period, the national anthem is played over the high school announcement system. 2. At such times, all students are asked to quote the standard district guide. Please all rise and stand at respectful, silent attention. At no time in the history of this procedure has any disturbance been recorded. 3. On March 28th, March 29th, and March 30th, Philip Malloy deliberately caused a disturbance in his homeroom class, Margaret Narwin, teacher, by singing the national anthem in a loud, ruckus, disrespectful fashion, thereby drawing attention to himself. 4. When requested by Miss Narwin on the first occasion to cease, Philip Malloy did so, albeit reluctantly. On the second and third occasions, he repeated this disrespectful behavior, and when he refused to stop, he was sent, standard procedure, to Assistant Principal Dr. Joseph Polini for discipline. 5. Philip Malloy did not dispute the above facts. 6. A random selection of students who were in the classroom at the time confirms these events. Indeed, there is evidence that Philip Malloy's acts were indicative of some personal animosity he feels towards the homeroom teacher, Miss Narwin. His rudeness was also on display in the English classes he had with her. His grade there indicates inferior work. 7. On the third occurrence, Philip Malloy was asked, 1. To promise not to show such disrespectful attitude toward our national anthem, and 2. To apologize to his teacher and his classmates for his behavior. He refused, choosing the option afforded him of suspension. 8. Dr. Polini, following district guidelines approved by the superintendent, therefore suspended Philip Malloy from class for 2 days in hopes that he would learn to show proper respect toward the national anthem, his school, his teacher, and his fellow students. Dr. Gertrude Doan, Principal.
To Margaret Narwin, Harrison, New Hampshire High School. From Young Americans for America. On behalf of our membership, we strongly condemn your suppression of patriotism in the American school system. Sincerely, Jessica Whittington, Executive Secretary, Tampa, Florida.
To Philip Malloy, from Society for the Preservation of Free Speech. We applaud your defense of the freedom of speech in a public arena. One is never too young to fight for our constitutional rights, which are under constant assault from right-wing forces. Stand firm. Stand tall. Please call upon us for active support. Hank Morgan, Chicago, Illinois.
To Principal, Harrison High. People like Margaret Marwin should be kicked out of teaching. Charles Elderson, Woodbank, North Carolina.
To Mrs. Gloria Harland, Chairman, School Board. From Dr. A. Seymour, suspension of Philip Malloy. 1. It is the practice in all Harrison schools that each and every morning during homeroom period, the national anthem is played over the announcement systems. It is part of our general ongoing program of support for traditional American values. 2. At such times, all students are asked to please all rise and stand at respectful silent attention. In past years, our desire for a dignified moment of patriotism has been firmly maintained. At no time in the history of this program has any disturbance been recorded. 3. On March 28th, March 29th, and March 30th, Philip Malloy deliberately caused a disturbance in his homeroom class, Margaret Narwin, teacher of 20 years standing, by singing the national anthem in a loud, raucous, disrespectful fashion, thereby drawing attention to himself and away from the words. There are strong indications that he was acting out some personal animosity towards the teacher in question for reasons unknown. His school performance has been inferior. It has been suggested that there may be problems in the home arena. Please note, however, that the law requires schools to keep such personal information confidential. 4. When requested by his teacher, Miss Narwin, on the first occasion to maintain a dignified response to the national anthem, Philip Malloy did so, though reluctantly. On the second and third occasions, he repeated his disrespectful acts, and when he refused to stop, he was, as a matter of course, sent to Assistant Principal Joseph Polini for discipline. 5. Philip Malloy, when given the opportunity, did not dispute the above facts. 6. Students who were in the classroom at the time of the incidents confirm these events. 7. On the third occurrence, Philip Malloy was requested 1. To promise that he would show an attitude of respect towards our national anthem, and 2. To apologize to his teacher and his classmates for his rude behavior. He refused, choosing the option of suspension himself. 8. Dr. Poleni, following district guidelines approved by the school board, therefore suspended Philip Malloy from class for 2 days in hopes that he would learn to show proper respect toward the national anthem and his school, teacher, and fellow students. Dr. A. Seymour, Superintendent of Schools.
Hey, where's Philip?
He just got in, washing up.
Man, people were talking about him today. It is amazing how many folks saw that thing in the paper.
At my place, too.
Makes you feel good.
We should celebrate.
Well, how do you feel?
Okay.
You should be pleased with yourself.
What do you think of that telegram?
I don't know. Who are they? I never heard of them before.
Well, they've heard of you. You're famous.
How?
In the news, wasn't it?
You think so?
Sure, it just shows you. One person makes a difference. One person standing up for what he or she believes in.
I'm just so glad it worked out all right, aren't you?
I suppose.
All right, well, what's the problem now?
It'd be weird going back. What kids will say.
They will be on your side. You said they all hated that woman. Just make sure you sing in the morning. People will look to that.
I'll be in Mr. Lunster's class.
You said he likes kids singing.
Sorta.
I think you should go over and speak to Ted Griffin, too.
Why?
Someone at work heard him at some speech he gave for the school board thing. He mentioned this whole business.
He did?
And he brought in that reporter, too.
Come on, Philip. People are really on your side.
I guess.
Before I get to my formal speech, I'd like to lead off, put it right at the top of your thoughts, with something that has happened here in Harrison. Something that has disturbed me greatly. I am a great believer in basic American values. And let me tell you, good people, and I am sure I speak for you too, I am shocked that a Harrison student should be expelled from one of our schools because he desires to sing the national anthem. Yes, my friends, it is the truth. It has happened here. Here, in yesterday's record, is the full story. Shocking. What I say is, most emphatically, what is the point of installing computers, which my generation never seemed to need, and at great cost, if our young people are not allowed to practice the elemental values of American patriotism? And to think, because this story, so I understand, this has been picked up by the national press, how shocking it is that this is the way our town of Harrison should come to be known. It should not be condoned.
Hello?
Peg,
Anita, yes. Dear, what is it? What's the matter?
I
What is it?
was just reading the evening paper, and right on page 1 is the story. It's a story about you.
What are you talking about?
It's right here.
Are you sure?
Absolutely sure. It must be everywhere.
What does it say?
I'll read it. It's so awful, Peg. It says, kicked out of school for patriotism. That's the headline. It's one of those box stories, but it's on the front page. Harrison, New Hampshire, AAP. A 10th grader was suspended from his local school because he sang the Star-Spangled Banner during the school's morning exercises. The boy, Philip Malloy, who wished to sing in the spirit of patriotism, was then forced to remain home alone since both his parents work. English teacher Margaret Narwin, who brought about the suspension, maintains the boy was making a nuisance of himself. Peg, I don't understand. Peg? But why?
And this was in your newspaper?
Peg, I'm holding it.
Dear God.
It's not true. Is it?
No, none of it.
But where does it come from?
Let me call you back in a few moments.
Yes, Peg, hello. How are you?
Gert,
Peg, are you all right?
Gert, I just got a call from my sister in Florida about a newspaper story published there about this business.
I know, Peg. I've already heard about it.
But I
just didn't see any point upsetting you anymore.
But why?
I already received a call from some Midwestern reporter. There have been telegrams.
Teddygrams?
No, telegrams.
Oh.
Yes, at school. I told the office to hold them. Peg, it's gone out of hand. I don't know how. It seems there are these radio talk shows.
I want to see them. What do the telegrams say?
Well, they believe what the story says, and believe me, Peg, I know, it's all a mistake.
Were they addressed to me, personally?
Well, to me, and yes, some to you, but...
I want to see them.
I don't think...
I don't understand any of this.
Peg, I assure you, I have complete confidence in you.
It's so monstrous, so...
Yes, I agree.
My sister in Florida...
Peg, we're going to have to weather it out, and maybe you'll want to take the day off tomorrow.
No, I can't give in to this.
Peg, believe me, it will calm down.
Weird day, not doing much. Got these telegrams from these people. I never heard of it before. Talking about something I don't get. Folks all high. Be glad to be back in school. I hate sitting around. Glad to be in Lunsler's homeroom class again. Get things back to normal. Guess I'll still be in Narwin's English. Better speak to her and see if I can do some extra work, so I can get on the track team. Wonder what she'll say. Did some extra time on Dad's rowing machine. I'm a little nervous.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats, your assigned seats.